Almost. Here we go. Hey, everybody, we're live tonight, and we're just streaming from YouTube tonight. Having a few technical difficulties tonight, so we're going to keep it short. And I hope you guys all had a great day. So welcome to our live stream, Advocates for Justice, Foreclosure Defense Paralegal Service. We are different, and we prove it. I'm Coach Neighbors, and today I'm going to review a few things and answer a few questions that people ask about our lawsuit packages and stuff this week. So first, I want to remind you guys to subscribe and click that bell down below or up there, or wherever that bell is, so you'll get notifications when class is about to start. Put my glasses on so I can see. So also, please make sure you leave a comment and comment on what you think about my work here, and let YouTube know that that you appreciate what I'm doing and you appreciate my channel. So YouTube judges all that stuff by comments and how many likes you get. So, and I want to thank you guys for supporting me here on YouTube. I only need about 325 hours or 30 hours more to go to qualify for the 4,000 hours to be accepted into the YouTube partnership program, where I can host ads on my channel and make money from those ads, which means I would be able to charge less for the documents, which means more people will be able to get in and fight to help keep their house. Hey, Patricia. Hey, she just received notification that I'm on. Sweet. I can tell you click that bell so you're not late when class starts. That's good, because I don't want to make you run, Patricia. We're just getting to know each other. Welcome tonight. So last week, I did a couple of videos on the proper way to state a claim. But before we get to that, I want to remind you guys, if you need something, like, say, for instance, if you bought the package 6 or 8 months ago or whatever, and you believe that I talked about something in one of my videos that you are hoping was included or should be included or whatever, you have to know exactly what document you're talking about. Because if you call me or send me a message and you ask me for the eviction letter, I'm not going to know what you're talking about, because I don't have an eviction letter. I have documents to block the eviction. I have a letter for third-party debt collections or whatever, but I don't know what the eviction letter is. So if you ask me for an eviction letter and I tell you that, you're going to need to let me know what whatever it was I mentioned in the video that you watch. You're going to have to go back and watch that video and see and write it down exactly what it was I was talking about, because it's easy for someone to say, okay, it was the last video that you made, but you don't know if that's the last one I made, because if you're not in the online course, then you didn't see the 3 videos that we put in there, because only the online course people get to see those videos. And I have another Facebook page too that I post videos in that most people in the foreclosure group probably don't see. I don't know. But I know if you tell me in the last video that you made, I'm not going to know what that was, because I made, in an hour from now, what I put in this. Okay, come on now. If you guys want me to give you the right documents, you got to tell me the document that you need. And it's really important to mention the whole title of the document. For instance, if you're interested in the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit, you have to say all of that. Or I might think you're talking about the regular jurisdictional challenge or the jurisdictional challenge that against a magistrate judge. So there's several jurisdictional challenges. So in order to keep the confusion out of the way, you have to be specific about what you're asking for. If you're asking for a particular document or something. Now, if you're asking for a document, if you call me or you message me and you want to know if this document was included in your package, I'm going to tell you to go check your package, because my job is not to make it easy for you, but to help you learn. So you should know if it's in your package or not, because I don't know. If you bought the package in January, if you bought the package last week, I don't know what's in it or not. And yeah, I do update them and change them. As a matter of fact, one of the updates that I can recall at the top of my head that were recently done to both packages was the addition of the magistrate judge, the claim against the magistrate judge for taking jurisdiction without, I think it's called the magistrate judge reconsideration order. And I think that's the name of the video too, that tells you how to use that package. And in that package, you have everything that you need to go after the judge if the judge is getting in your way. Because the way we roll around here is whoever's getting in your way, blocking you from getting in court, that's who we're going to be adding at the end of the day to your lawsuit. Now, I have people that get their package and they spend so much time worrying about having everything perfect and all of this and all of that. And you know what? At the end of the day, it ain't going to come down to none of that. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to you jumping up in the judge's face to take care of the problem of them violating you and blocking you from having your day in court. That's what it's going to come down to. And that's why I added the magistrate judge reconsideration package to the lawsuit packages. And the magistrate judge reconsideration package has what you need. Now, just because it says magistrate judge, don't trip on that. Okay, you got to think more broad, because that's the way we don't have limitations on stuff up in here. So just because it says magistrate judge, that doesn't mean you can't use it on any judge that's in your way. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, the other thing I want to touch on before we get started is to give you guys a little bit of guidance on how to use my YouTube channel. Because I know I got someone, I think Patricia said, "Oh, you got 108 videos?" And I was like, "Yeah." So let me explain to you how to get around in the videos. So the videos are separated into playlists, different playlists. So I have a playlist for jurisdictional challenge, jurisdictional issues. I have a playlist for tips and strategies for being in court. I have a playlist on how to control the attorneys in court. And these playlists have different videos in them. So when you're looking for something, you want to start out with the playlist and have the playlist that's pertaining closer to what it is you need or wherever your situation is. Okay. And now when you look at video, the title of the video, the first section, and when you go to my list, you'll see, when you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that my videos are the title to the videos have two parts. Okay. There's the first part, then there's a little dash, and then the hyphen, where you want to call it. Then there's the second part of the title. The first part of the title is what I use from YouTube to make my video rank, because I'm a small channel and the stuff that I'm in, foreclosure stuff, there's a lot of people doing this stuff. So I have to choose different keywords that have a low ranking, so that'll allow YouTube to show my stuff. Okay. The second part of the title is more about what you need to look at to decide what videos you should watch. So, you might want to keep that in mind when you're checking out my YouTube channel. That maybe will help you be able to get around and make sure you're watching things that are, I mean, like, for instance, if you're about to be evicted, then you want to be watching the stuff that has to do, with that, for starters. I need to say hello to everybody and give myself a thumbs up, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be happy with my performance today. If I'm not, then I let somebody get to send me to the bench or to go run. And coaches don't not like to run. We like to watch you guys run, so we have to do a good job. And if you do a good job, I won't make you run either. So anyway. Howdy, y'all. Yeah, I'm from the country. I'm from Kansas. That's out in the country. So I can say that. Howdy, y'all. What's up? So let's just move on here before I get too carried away with yakking. So last week I did 2 videos on the proper way to state a claim for relief. And I was going to share that tonight, but I'm having a little bit of a problem accessing my external hard drive. So I got to contact my computer genius tonight. Hey, John Smith, if you're listening, I want to call you after this. I'm going to need a hand. So Yeah, my computer genius is pretty badass. So I'm glad I got him on my side. So I didn't get a chance to pull that up and share all of that with you, but I wanted to talk about it. Failure to state a claim. If you had your lawsuit dismissed for failure to state a claim, and it doesn't have to be a foreclosure defense lawsuit. It could be any lawsuit. This review on how to state a claim will work for anybody that's trying to state a claim, because I provide an outline in it for everybody to watch. Actually, what I would suggest that you print it off and just have it on the table while you're actually writing up your claim. So you have an idea how to do it. And I would suggest you watch the video, and remember, just look at the second half of the title to figure out which one that you need to watch. And I think you'll find that is going to be very helpful. Now, we haven't spent in the past a whole lot of time doing things. Hello, Andrea, doing things the way the attorneys do. But and the reason is because we put enough facts in our documents that we can get past that. But you know, in the real world, when you get my stuff, you would get automatic pass. There's no arguing. But in in the fake world, there's no arguing. In the real world, we got the corruption going on. So that's what you're going to be fighting when you take my stuff to the table. So Patricia says she hasn't been to my channel yet, but she's going. Okay, there's a lot there to help you figure out what your next move is going to be, or if you think my program has value. There's a lot there. So you should go to the channel and figure out what you need to watch that's closer to where you're at in your situation. So I posted those two videos and the write-up on how to state a claim for relief, and I'm suggesting that you guys check it out if you're reviewing this. Now, I upgraded the online course, and not only did I do the review in the online course on how to state a claim for relief, I also stated a claim for relief based off of my own eyeballs, and I posted it in the online course for the online course students to use. So if you're already in court on the online course and you then you can add this. If you're already in court, then what I would suggest is that you wait until they're done nitpicking. Okay, because when they're done nitpicking, you'll get a chance to amend, and then you can add this new stuff. Or you can go ahead and add it right off, because it's going to be powerful. It's going to blow the doors off of them. You can add it. It's kind of up to you how you want to do it. But generally, you get one free pass to amend before you have to ask the court for leave to amend. And even when you ask for leave to amend, it should be granted. But like I said, we're dealing with the fraudsters, so nothing is done the way it's supposed to be done because of the fraud involved. So remember, the only stuff you want to talk about is the stuff that's listed in the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. Remember, that's the only stuff you want to talk about. So anytime they're talking, that's the only thing you want to talk about is stuff that's in that jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. You want to talk about the fact that the foreclosure statute is missing the elements that are necessary to make that statute a valid law. Therefore, the foreclosure is unconstitutional. Mm-hmm. And 6 missing things that you're claiming is missing from the original contract is missing from the contract they filed in court. And you're claiming that the original contract was altered and stolen. And the contract that's filed in court is missing the 6 things that you agreed to with the bank. And those things are pretty powerful. Those things are pretty powerful. And this is the advantage of the online course, because the online course has those things plus other stuff. Now, attorneys can't respond to this stuff, and they ain't going to be able to respond to a jurisdiction challenge with an affidavit, okay? Because they can't respond by counter affidavit because everything they're doing is a lie. So that's the way you do that. They can't respond because everything that they're doing is a lie. And that jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit is a pretty stinking powerful document. And the only way they're getting around it by people failing to address it when they don't respond. So the attorneys don't respond within the time limit that the federal rules of civil procedure say they're supposed to respond in. And then the judge, figures that you're waiting for the judge to rule. And I've had some people file it and wait for, we don't wait for the judge to do anything. Okay, we ain't waiting for the judge. You file your jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit, they don't respond in the time that the federal rules of civil procedure says they have to respond, their asses should be getting defaulted the same day they're supposed to respond. You should be down there with your default already filled out and ready to stick up in their face. Okay. If you're in my program, you can't file your stuff and go sit down. That's what you do when attorneys, you file your stuff and go sit down. And you do that because attorneys are already going to throw you under the bus and they tell you, don't worry, I got you. In the end, they tell you, I'm getting off the case. I had a lady tell me, they told her one day, the attorney didn't know why she was fighting so hard to keep her property. She told her she should just move out after she paid him like $12,000. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked so well with me. I would have been going to jail again. Well, the second time they would have been able to keep me for real. They would have had some real charges on me at least, as opposed to the first time. So I got a couple of questions that was asked to me this week, and I want to talk about a few of them. So someone asked me if they would be able to add a new attorney, and they were freaking out because the attorney took over. The attorney that did it was not that actually filed the foreclosure, skated, took his money and left, and the new attorney came on. And so the answer to that is, look, you guys need to understand that you're not in an attorney program right now. You have options, okay? You have options. You don't have to have everything perfect. If you read the front of the document, it says right on there that you reserve the right to amend. And I mentioned this to one person and they said, well, is that document in there? I was like, dude, it's written on the front of the document. You're killing me. So if I tell you you're killing me, I'm not like ready to send you to the bench yet, but I'm just saying that there's things that you should have noticed that are right there anyway. So the answer to the question is you reserve the right to amend. So you can add anybody you want, but you need to keep in mind that the less people that you have, the better it's going to be. Because the more people you add to it, it complicates everything. And this is why we don't have 17 people all on there, like all 17 people that they list, the neighbor and all of the, we don't list all those people because the only people that's involved in this is the attorney acting as a third-party debt collector, the attorney's law firm, and the servicer, the last servicer. Those are generally the only three people I like to add. And I'll tell you why. Foreclosure defense attorneys, third-party debt collectors are cowards. And when you add them to your lawsuit as an M1 defendant and the law firm as the second defendant, and then the last servicer, that's a problem. The problem is the servicer, violated the law. They already claimed this on your alleged debt on their taxes and wrote it off their insurance. And so there's no place on their books for them to post any income generated from illegally selling the alleged debt to a third-party debt collector. So we know what that's called: income tax, fraud. Yeah, RICO. And we can tell. We just started RICO. That's at the top of the list. So you want to put yourself in a position to make the attorney have to address that. Now, the other thing is the attorney, people don't realize this, that attorney cannot represent himself, and the attorney cannot represent the law firm that he's affiliated with. They can't go into court pro se. The attorney can't represent himself. They can't litigate their case they're a party to, and they can't go into court pro se. So when you add the attorney to the list as an M1 defendant, that creates a big problem for the attorney. And the attorney's number one goal is to protect the source where they got their illegal money from, their illegal opportunity from in the first place. Now, all those other people that was on the list, they already made money off of it over and over and over again. Yeah, with the fake assignments, and well, you all know how that goes. So when you leave them off the list and you have the one attorney on there, you're forcing that one attorney to take the heat for everybody else's BS. And that creates a little bit of a problem because the attorney's like, they're gonna have a meeting when you come to the table with my stuff, they're gonna have to have some meetings. And they're gonna be in the meeting talking about, well, why should I take it? And the other dudes that are all, they're gonna be telling dudes, you need to get these people under control because that's your job. We'll see how well that goes. So pretty soon there starts to have a little bit of a problem. And at some point in time, those other people will visualize the shared liability. Yep. And their vote would be to settle. That's how people always ask me, well, how many have you won? No, it's not about winning because the judge ain't going to give you nothing. The judge ain't going to rule in your favor and give you anything. It's about staying in the ring and getting your punches in, getting your stuff on the record for your lawsuit and forcing them to sit the hell down, leave you alone. And you stop and think about it. And one of the things you got going in your favor is the fact that they have so many people give up. As long as you're screaming and scratching and kicking, they're going to be like, damn, I need to get this person out of the way. I could have 4 more people. Yeah, think about it. So I had one person ask me if they could replace the case law with case law from his state. And I was like, no. What you need to do is fill out the red font with your information and follow the instructions. And that's what you need to do. And, I'm glad he asked before he did it. And I'll tell you the reason why. Number one, I don't follow all of the rules that they put together because I'm not trying to turn my document into a document that the conventional process wants you to file. Okay. That's not what I'm doing. Okay. And number two, if I have something that's being filed in state court, okay, generally I don't use state court case law. I use federal court case law in state court. And I have the case law that supports that. I posted in one of the last few videos that I made. And when you do that, they get really grumpy. But you know what? They can't do a stinking thing about it because it's no different than using Supreme Court case law in state court. Think about it. You can use higher case law in the lower court all day long. They hate it because it forces them to follow precedents. And it's a great way to set yourself up for your appeal. Remember, our goal is to set yourself up for appeal at the gate. And the way we do it is that jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. People that's in the online course and a few people in the Facebook page that invested in that document. What we're doing is using that document to back them in the corner because they can't answer to it. The judge has to answer to it. And once the judge answers to it, then we turn on the judge because the judge ain't got no business getting in the middle of it. At the end of the day, when you file your title dispute in federal court, you will be able to use the fact that those fools could not respond to your jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. You'll be able to use that as an exhibit, as evidence in your title dispute to show that they shouldn't have been messing with you in the first place. How nice is that? So now you got evidence that they couldn't respond to your jurisdictional challenge in state court, and that the judge had to do all this stuff to give them a free pass. And this is what you're doing to the judge for doing that. And the new judge is going to be like, ooh, this is a little hot. Yeah. And you know what? That's what you got to do. As soon as the court violates you, you got to step up and do something about it. Because if you don't, they'll make a call over to federal court and tell them, no, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Just do whatever you want. I've got a couple of people in the group. I'm not going to name them because I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. But a couple of people in the group that in the Facebook page that did not address it when the judge first violated you. And then the judge just kept on violating you and kept on violating you. And then when you move your stuff in the federal court, they're doing the same thing. Yeah, they all talk. They all talk. If you don't, boy, you better catch up before you have to start packing. So no, don't replace the case law with, and you know what? That's not a requirement anyway. That is a requirement. So people need to understand that there's the federal rules of civil procedure, which are the rules that you and the bar members are supposed to be using and the judge is supposed to be going by. Okay. And then there's their local rules, which are BS rules, in my opinion, that were formulated to speed things up through court. And anytime your stuff's getting sped up in court, well, you're getting hosed. So that's the way that goes. And the local rules don't comply with the Constitution. So why should you have to follow them? I would tell them, I'm not an attorney. I don't have to follow the local rules. And the local rules are not listed in the federal rules of civil procedure. So there you go. Now, I was going to share that case law with you that shows that you can file, your federal stuff, your federal case law in state court. But like I said, I'm having a little trouble accessing my stuff, and I got to work on that later on tonight. So I'm going to try to keep this a little bit short and just, touch on a few things. So the last thing I ever want to do is turn my documents into what they want you to file. And I say that I've had people take the documents to court, and the lady and the clerk tell, oh no, we can't have the attorney, and start scratching it out to change the attorney to the lender's name. And the lady said, oh no, look. And she followed the instructions. What she did was she attached a file stamp copy of the petition that was filed against her house. She attached a file stamp copy of that petition as an exhibit to her title dispute that she filed in federal court to show who signed to initiate the foreclosure. And so she told the clerk, no, look, right here. Here's my exhibit. This is who signed to start the foreclosure. The bank hasn't signed to anywhere. It's the attorney acting as a third-party debt collector. Well, yeah. The clerk was like, what? Yeah. They didn't know what to say. And the clerk shut the hell up and filed her stuff and didn't give her any more crap. So we're operating non-conventional strategies that does not require you to follow all those rules that they are not following. Okay? They ain't following them rules. So why should you? If they ain't following them. So I'm working on some new stuff. Right now I'm working on one of the projects I'm working on is going to help folks that are getting violated by the HOA association. So I need a copy of the indenture trust agreement, and I also need a copy of the CC&R, the covenants and conditions and restrictions. But please email me first. If you have these in a PDF, you can email them to me. Email me first and ask me if I still need them, because I don't want to have like 2,000 of them come all at the same time. I only need a couple from a couple of different states so that I can review them, especially the indenture and trust agreement. Actually, both of them, because I need to figure out exactly what statute they're using to initiate this. And I kind of have an idea already that it's not a statute that's been enacted. So we'll be able to attack it from that perspective. But I like to do the beat down. So I spend the time making sure that I understand everything, so that when I put the documents together and you use them, it's the beat down for the attorney. Okay. So that's how I roll. So if any of you guys have a copy or are in HOA association and have a copy of the indenture and trust agreement on a PDF, and a copy of the CC&R, the covenants and conditions and restrictions, I'd love to have a couple of those from a couple of, I only need a couple from a couple of different states. That's all I need. And then I can figure out how to structure the document so that everybody will be able to use it. Because that's one of the, since we're filing these documents in state court, it allows me to structure the document so everybody can use it. But you have to remember, you only are supposed to change the rest stuff in red font. The other stuff you leave the same. And the reason that we can do this is because when you go into court with my stuff, okay, we don't go into court defending what they said you did, because all that's lies. Okay, we're going to go into court and we're going to attack them for the fraud they did that forced you to be in the position you're in right now. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So If anybody has copies of those documents, I'd love to have you send them to me. And let me put my email address in here. When in Courts 1@gmail.com. And for those of you who have not been to my website, it is whenincourtnow.com. So let me check and see how we're doing here. We're around in the list. Yeah, so if you guys have a copy of those documents from the HOA, I'd love to see those to help me with my work here. And I'm also working on something that we're going to be able to use against the cities that are trying to violate the Airbnb owner operators. So, and our city here in Lawrence, Kansas is trying to do that too. They have this misguided conclusion that they have the ability, the jurisdiction to control people's property that they have no money invested in or have no interest in. And so we're going to put together something to address that problem too. So those are two new things that we're working on. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back on here Tuesday. And I want to come on Tuesday and talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about in our radio show on Wednesday. So, and you guys don't miss the show on Wednesday, every Wednesday, hamiltonradio.net. And our call-in, the call-in number is 609-585-0400. And I love to have people who have invested in the program call into the show and tell us about how things are going, what you thought about the program after you read the documents. I've been asking people, when you invest in my documents, to leave me a review after you review the document, to let people know that you think the document's strong and has value, and also to let people know that you're going to do a follow-up to let everyone know how the progress of your situation. I'm asking people to do that because this is really not fair to make me wait until the end of your process, because the end of your process may never come, or if it does come, it's going to be a settlement and you're not going to be able to talk about it. So I'm not asking anybody to tell anybody that my stuff is, or what I'm asking you to do is give people your own opinion about the value you found in my documents after you read them. And that's all I'm asking you to do, and then to let other people know that you're going to do a follow-up on how things are how things are shaping up with your situation. And I'm asking people to do that because that lets other people know that the documents are real, and I don't play. Okay, because there's nobody doing what I'm doing. There's nobody that I've seen with a YouTube channel that provides free information for people. So if you have the ability to put this information on the paper and use it, there you go. You're ready to roll. If you need help, we have the documents, we have the online course, we have the videos, we have everything that you need to help. And when I qualify those to add to my site, then my prices are going to go down again, because my goal is to be able to figure out a way that that can help everybody that's facing foreclosure. My goal is to have a program set up to where no one's getting turned away if you got the courage to step up and fight. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I need to get qualified in YouTube first, because all this fancy stuff that I'm using to do the videos and to make everything look first class is costing me money. But I'm all right with it because it's working out. And as you see, there ain't nobody leaving me a bunch of bad reviews about how they got smashed. Usually the people that end up getting jammed up are people that did not follow the stinking process properly. So Patricia Ross says, has anyone filed my paperwork and then settles? Patricia, So if the attorneys are forced to settle with you, what is the first thing they make you file? They make you file a non-disclosure agreement because they don't want you telling other people. So all of the people that are sitting around waiting to see who's winning, I'm hoping you're not having to go pack your stuff, okay? Because I mean, how long can you wait before you do something? And what other options do you have? I don't see any other options that are affordable that actually is going to help you, because all of the options have to do with attorneys that I've seen, or people on the Facebook page that not the Facebook page, people on YouTube that want you to call them. They won't tell you, they'll talk about all this vague stuff, and then they want you to call them so they can tell you how much money you need to give them before they tell you anything that's going to help you. So we don't have that problem around here. I put it right on the table. And like I said, if you can take this and roll with it, there you go. If you need help, we got the help too. So make sure you guys don't miss our next stream on Tuesday. And I will see you guys on the flip side.